Hello and welcome, my name is Fake Fairy Tale and welcome to the 8th video of this series. So, last time we left off with placing down some trees and some color palette. I've actually linked the colors that I like to use in the video description of the previous video, so if you want to check that out, please do. However, these are not the exact colors that I always use, but I like how they are going along with the rest of the assets that are already in here. You can put down some variants of trees like pines, even the brighter ones if you like, but I don't want to put down too much vegetation. There is another style of placing down trees that you could apply, and that is placing down these trees like stump ashen. You position it here and you use a shadow, a tree shadow, and you just place that on top like so, which does indicate that there is a tree over there. I actually wildly prefer the or vastly prefer the actual trees and leave the center of the map for shrubs. I can't really explain why. It just looks a bit odd to me, but other people like it much better. So if you're one of the people who likes to do it this way, go your gang. Okay. Let's put down some rocks for the pond. Let's see. Something like this. Yeah, that's fine. And make sure that it's not too big. And we actually had some artifacting on this side over here. Because there wasn't really a seamless transition over here, but that's okay. And we'll just place down a few different stones here. Maybe even one along the building, and I see that we have it on layer 4 now. We can put it on layer 1. It's fine. Just position one over there, and we'll put in some larger rock formation over here. Not necessarily because it makes sense, but I would like to show you how I go about placing moss on there. And I see that I left the shadow on, so we'll turn that off. Hide this one underneath. The moss on rocks is something that you can see a bit better on larger rocks. So this is on layer 4. We don't want that to be on layer 4. Bring that all the way down, and I'll turn off the shadows on these rocks. You're going on layer 2, and the same goes for you. There we go. Now I want to have some plants. And let me see. There we go. And we'll place them around here. Something I actually often like to do is you can layer these ferns in all kinds of different ways. So we'll just place these two here. And if you go a bit brighter on every layer that you do, and I usually do about, well, 1, 2, 3 layers. Put it a little bit brighter here. There we go. Cool. And we'll make the bottom one something brown, make it a bit translucent, just a little bit, and make sure it hides in there, underneath there, as if it's something that has been dying. It will look quite nice altogether. Do keep in mind that you probably want to do some proper layering so that you can add in some shadows later in between the leaves as well. We'll add a bush, a few bushes, and for that we'll use again something in between here. We'll turn the alpha value all the way back up, and I'll just place this in the corner over here. And this is something I just generally do a bit on feeling. I see actually that the shadow path is a bit too far out, so it seemed, or that's just a glitch. Yeah, it seems to be. Oh well, nothing we can do about that. And I just placed down these bushes and shrubs all around the place. I try to make them vary in the colors that they have. Some are a bit brighter, others are a bit darker. Because that's what you would see in real life as well. You wouldn't have all plants in the exact same color. You can occasionally use a brown one as well. Just make sure. There we go. And we do it like this. I won't go into too much detail here again, because it takes a long time. You can go very wild on the outside of an area. And it's something you just have to try around. I will show you the plans and the things that I like to use, and the little tricks like placing down the moss. And then I would like to suggest that you just try it out yourself. You have a variety. We'll look it up here. Plants. There we go. We'll use a few ferns again. Place a few against the wall over here. And make sure that we don't use the same one every time. First layer brown, second layer somewhere green. I will place it on layer 3. And we don't want it to peek through the wall either. And we'll go even a step lighter. And we'll just place it over here. We'll take again a few rocks. Oh. And we'll take the smaller ones this time over here. We'll put it all the way down on layer 1 and just position these under or along the sides of a few shrubs and bushes, and over here as well. And we'll place it on layer 3 and have 1 or 2 of the rocks on top. And that's all right for me. Okay, cool. And we want to add in some tree stumps and logs. I'll add in 1 tree stump in, let's see where we'll put it down. I think I'm actually going to remove that shrub over here and put it down here, make it a bit smaller. It doesn't have to show all the way, but that's fine. Do it like this. And we want some logs. And I'm going to hide one of the logs somewhat underneath the rock over there. I think we're going to need something with a little bit of a curve for it. And don't want to make it look too perfect. That's okay. And let's put one larger one. Not too large. Somewhere over here. Okay, cool. A nice thing you can do to make these logs look cool is you have some mushrooms. And we'll be placing that on them just to make them look that bit much more interesting. There. And you can do the same thing with the logs as well. I think this one is on layer 3. We want that on layer 1. Place some of these, and you also have the pink ones. I think look quite cool actually. Some rare kind of mushroom growing somewhere, and it just gives a little bit of color. And you can actually, and I often did that, use these kind of mushrooms here as well. If you make them quite small, you won't really notice that they are in a different art style. I'm not going to do it today, but that's something that you can apply if you like. So right now we're going to take some shadows, and for that we'll use the three shadows over here, and we will be placing them on the angle that makes sense. So we decided in the previous video that we have the sun coming from the top side, which means it will drop a shadow somewhere down the line here. We have to make sure that it says the proper size, and we put it far enough down for it to make sense. And we'll put this on layer 4, but underneath the tree, so it will cast a shadow on all objects that are underneath. We'll do the same thing over here. Like so. And also over here, like so. Now, we'll make it a bit smaller. You can usually use the same shadow for all these situations if you want to. They are in the shape of the actual tree, so if that's something that you want to match perfectly, you can take some time to try and match them all together. I usually don't bother and just put down the shadows that I like. Let's have it over here and put that on 2. This is going to go on layer 3, so it drops a shadow on top of both the logs and the mushrooms. Right here we can go underneath and scale it to 0.15, just a bit like this. It wouldn't drop much of a shadow actually, because, well, there's no direct sunlight here. I do still, however, often apply some shadows anyway. I think this can go here. This is what I meant with having different layers, so that I can put the layer in between the top leaves and the bottom leaves, and we'll do it here. Did I miss anything? I think I did here. Over here. All right, cool. Okay, so now we have some shadows, the pre-made ones already in place, and we will add in a little bit of water plants. Actually, Gogots has some cool stuff that goes quite alright with the Forgotten Adventure assets. It ain't perfect, but if you tone down the brightness a little bit, like here in the shadow, it looks actually quite alright. We'll just put in a few flowers there. That looks great. And to tone it down even a little bit further, we'll be using a shadow path. And we'll just use a very opaque one. Turn off this, go to 3, turn on the fade, and we'll go over it like once. That's fine. Okay, now we're going to add in the moss that I was talking about. So we're going to go back to blood. There we go. And it's already green, which is great. Make it a bit bigger, and we'll turn down the alpha value again, almost all the way to the edge. This is actually too light, so yeah, this is better. And I want it to be a bit darker, somewhere over here. And this is just some playing around with. There. Go to layer 3. Have some moss over here. Moss. You can also put it on logs, of course, if that's what you like. It will look good. Close to the water makes a lot of sense to have a lot of moss. And maybe along the edges here. There. And even from a distance, it's like these subtle changes in color that make something look quite cool. It's just a little bit more than just an ordinary rock. You can always apply them on these logs as well, as if moths has been growing over them for quite a bit after they are cut down. I want to put in some ferns here as well. And some plants that would probably like to grow on the stump. So just put it along the edges, make it help blend in with the floor. There. And maybe plants. Take a few of these smaller ones there. And this is something that we can actually apply on other parts of the map as well. These are the ones I'm looking for. It takes some getting used to these. At first I didn't like them at all, but later I kind of grew fond of them. You have to make sure that they match quite well with the texture that is in the ground. Otherwise they stand out really much, and that's just kind of weird, to be honest. Doesn't look very good. We'll put it on layer 1. And you can just add these in for a bit of variety and color here and there around plants, and for example around the water. We'll take a few different ones. These are some bigger patches. There we go. And they'll help you break up the ground textures a little bit. Let's make it a little bit darker. Just zoom out a bit and we'll place it here, place it there. Alright, that's good. So this is already starting to look quite good. I like it. So we'll continue on with the fence. And for this I like to use retainer walls. Here we go. And let's not make them too big, like so. Make sure they'll switch them around a little bit. And it actually wouldn't make sense for them to go all the way to the door. So we'll just leave them at a hint. There we go. We want to put this on a higher layer, at least layer 2. And here as well. And we'll take a palisade wall section, or palisade pillar, a single, and we will match it approximately in style and shape. I like these ones that have a rope around it. They frankly just look kind of good. Go down size a little bit. And it takes a bit of playing around to get to a size that we like. I will be able to make a drop shadow here as well. I think I would like to save the shadows for the next video. I'll go over it quite quickly. I won't be doing every single bit over here because it takes quite a while to shade everything properly. We'll be doing some for the rocks, some for the fence here. And after that, I think we can call this map finished. So I would like to save the shading for the next video. That's going to be taking quite a while to do all over the map. I don't think it's that interesting. I'll be showing you guys how to apply it in a few specific places, but I think that when you apply the same techniques that we already used indoors, you get about the same effect if you use them outdoors. So it's not really rocket science, but it might be interesting to look at quickly. After that, I think this map is close to finished, though I think I would like to add in a second floor. In between the videos, I will have to do some preparation and make sure that there's a proper upstairs going, but that's something for another video. I would like to thank you again for watching. I hope you like it. If you did, please hit the like, favorite, or subscribe button to help me get my video out there. And I hope to see you again in the next video.